Welcome to our 6 o'clock Bible Challenge. This evening we're going to be looking at two places, two scriptures. We're going to be looking at Ephesians chapter number 6. We're going through the book of Ephesians and we're finally to the last chapter, Ephesians 6. And also you can mark your Bible and look at Romans chapter 1. We're going to look there. Ephesians chapter 6, the very first word of chapter 6 says children. And so, in a sense, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, children. First off, let me tell you about, there were two young boys that were talking between themselves. And first, the first young boy said he was worried sick about his parents. He said they really work hard to give me a nice home and make sure I have good food and the best clothes and expensive shoes. They cook and clean for me. They drive me places. But I'm just worried sick. And his buddy looked at him like, "Are you nuts?" He said, "Worried? About what? You've got it made, man." Control. They are not at all trying to be, I don't believe the majority of our young people are trying to be honoring toward their parents. I don't believe they're trying to be obedient. I know some that are, but I'm afraid there's the majority of young people have lost the idea of being obedient. I'm afraid that part of that can be put on the parents. I believe some of that blame can be put on the parents and grandparents for not being as strict and tough as they needed to be on their children. For years and years I've seen kids throwing temper tantrums in shopping centers and department stores, and I've seen kids slapping and hitting their parents, and I wouldn't have dreamed of doing those kind of things. I'm parents looked at their childhood and they thought, boy, I had it really bad. I want to make sure my kids have it better than me. And after a few generations like that, and what we've tried to do is, well, I don't want to be mean or tough. I don't want to whip my little Johnny. And we're turning out hoodlums right and left. Look at the rioting and the looting, blocking traffic, yanking people out of vehicles. Who do these young people think they are? They are out of control. What does God say? Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for that's the right thing to do. And verse 2 says, honor thy father and mother. Tag the two together. Obey and honor, which is the first commandment with promise. It says, God says, I got a promise for you. If you do the right thing, here's what I promise. Verse 3, with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. You want to have a long, prosperous life? As you're growing up, learn to be obedient and honoring to your parents. That's what God says. And then verse 4 says, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And so we're challenged as dads to teach our children, our young kids, about God. Our kids, our grandkids, they need to know about God. They need to know who He is. It would be a shameful thing to have a child in your house and you know God, and they reach the age of 10 and it's a blank chalkboard as far as what they know about God because you haven't bothered to teach them. That's just wrong. You should be teaching them about the God that you know. Teaching them, it says, bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.